Hey, what's up everybody, King Games coming at you today. So I'm working on this amplifier plate from a Behringer speaker. This one has a problem. The tweeter is working fine, but the woofer seems to be on terminals, so I just want to test that now. So I've got this little speaker here. Let's power it on. We have a green LED. I've got some signal. Yeah. So let's first try with the tweeter. This is the tweeter output. Yes, so we have a very crappy mono synthesized sound because I'm feeding in with a stereo to a mono, but it's just for testing. Tweeter part is working nicely. Now what about the woofer? So this is the woofer output, and we have nothing. Yeah, I'm giving a little bit of a wiggle. No, nothing. So let's investigate that. I already removed the plate here, so it's just this plate with a couple of screws. Nothing fancy, and now I don't really know where I should continue. This would be the main section. This would be the pot and input section. Here we go. I want to analyze a little bit this circuit. So we have some kind of a switch-in mode power supply here with a primary transistor, switch-in transformers, rectifying diode here, main capacitor bank. I have no idea what those are. Oh no. Alright, well they glue the connector in place, so I can't remove it. But I can remove the board. But this is well glued in. I can't remove this. Finally. So I need to find the path where the woofer plugged into. So I'm in continuity mode. I hope you can hear the beep. So it is this one. Let me note that. So we have 4 points. This is plus woofer. And this is minus woofer. And this one doesn't have a color, so they are both tweeter.
To stay organized, I like to use a little box where I can put all my screw and all my stuff into it. That way I know where all screw goes.
Alright, so both of these are connected, which is somehow pretty interesting because both of them are plus. Yeah, funny. So this would be my ground. Yeah. So this is ground. This is my ground. So yeah, this one, as I thought, the circuit has a direct connection from this plug, which is a tweeter plug, to this chip. So this is the tweeter amplifier. So now let's try to figure out which one of those chips are the it's a chip or maybe a transistor. Not, I'm pretty sure it's a transistor. Oh yeah. So of course it's those two, because this one is a diode. I would guess it's a diode because it has only 2 pins. Here, 1 and 2. So yeah, this is tweeter. This is woofer. I want to explore in this part to try to connect everything, and I will make some measurements to find the signal path. I need a screwdriver to remove the screw in here. There's a couple of filters inside, and I don't like that because it's our SMD component, which is more complicated to measure with, because very small solder, very small pin, small everything. Anyway, and I'm pretty sure the jack nuts need to be removed, so let's do that right now. This is it. I don't need that anymore. That's quite funny. The holder stayed on the plug and not on the board. So I found the schematic, which makes my job much easier. So on the inputs are all wired together, then it goes through some resistors and capacitor for high frequency filtering. So there are some diodes, I have no idea what they are for. Then it goes straight to classic op-amp, differential amp configuration, low pass filter circuit. And well, also all that is an optocoupler, and it's for driving the clip LED sockets. Then it goes through setting the bass and treble level. Then the signal is split in 2 halves, so I'm pretty sure it's one for driving the low frequency driver and one for the high frequency driver. And there is kind of EQ going on in here, and it's a mess. I've never seen this topology in this kind of op-amp circuit, but anyway. And then it goes straight to the plug, and on the plug it's pin 4 for the bass signal and pin 6 for the high frequency output. So let's hook up my oscilloscope and try to see if I can measure anything. Right. An LED actually. I need a reference, so I need a ground. I'm going to use the outside of the jack plug.
At this point, I could smell some kind of a burning smell. I didn't know where it was coming from. So I was already suspicious about the transistor. So I decided to kill the power to make sure nothing was burning.
Oh. I love when there are no discharging resistor between the leg of the capacitor. Anyway, it's raining quite hot, so I need a dissipator. So now I'm feeding an audio signal through it. So you can see it in here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm having the bass frequency and the high. I'm having the top frequency. So that means that all the EQ is working fine. I can unplug this. So my next test would be maybe a power supply issue or just the transistors that are having a problem. Alright, so you know what? I'm feeling that the transistors are getting a bit warm, so I'm pretty sure they are getting some kind of signal. I guess is that the output is going through, but oh well. Looking at the schematic, I'm noticing there is this inductor in series with the output terminal. Maybe there is something bad with it, like it's cut somewhere or I don't know. So let's find out. I will try to test between at the input of the inductor. So it's those two pins. Alright. So this is the input, this is the output, and yes, it goes straight to the pin. So let's see. Yeah, I got signal. Oh. See that? Oh. Well, that's very funny. Because it's not any components that are bad, it's just a dry solder, and now I can see that. Look. Yeah, see that? It's all cracked in here. It was making a bad connection.
And this is no big deal. I can use my soldering iron to refill the old solder, and I even use my soldering wick to remove the remnants of the old solder. That way I make sure I make good contact.
Much better. Find quite funny there are no gasket whatsoever on this cover, because this is the inside of the enclosure where the woofer is sitting, so there is quite a lot of air pressure. Nothing to stop the air to go through the pots and through the button. It's not very good. Like a lot of air leakage and a lot of noise. I mean, it's BEHRINGER, you know, it's not an audiophile or anything, but not very good.
Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're giving me wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry.
There is some glue that I need to remove. I hate when manufacturer put glue everywhere on the PCB.
And once again, I forgot to film where I put the plate back, but trust me, it worked fine, and I even used it in my last show, where I had one set it as a return, and the band didn't say anything about the quality. It was fine and it was a great event. Alright, that's it for today, thanks for watching.